Welcome to the Maverick Nation. Video start in 3, 2, 1. Intro start in 3, 2, 1. Ticking like a bomb. That's me. Been once, nothing ever. Long occupied, it don't affect me. I'm coming undone. I'm coming undone. I'm coming undone. Coming undone. Coming undone. No, from so dark. All my friends. And then, well, hello, my wonderful beautiful broskies, little beautiful bro, freaking Maverick Nation. It's me, Dark Shadow Maverick. I don't know if you know this or not, but whenever I said I was excited to do this, I meant it. I was excited to see what could be done. Oh, and just to clear up a couple things. So, there's Izuku who's 15 at the time, and Izuku's younger brother, Sonic, who is 10 at the time. Seeing as Izuku was 5 whenever Sonic was born. Izuku's quirk, we already know Esper, and how ridiculous it could, become in the future, how ridiculous it already is. However, Sonic's quirk, well, you could basically take like a small item with a little hairpin here, and you could fiddle around with it in his hand, and like whenever his hand opened up, you would see some sort of very fresh hot metal shuriken. Yes, like very fresh hot metal. Like coming off of the shuriken. And there's a certain point to where he can even, like, like continue the state of hot metal and, keep it from cooling down. But this uses up a lot more power. So usually he just sticks with the ones that come out hot metal, and the longer and longer they're there, the more and more they'll start to cool down. But they're still useful shuriken, and you can just throw them out as long as he has an idea of the item he originally used to make the shurikens from. As long as he has a general idea of the item, he can continuously create. So yeah, as long as he has a general idea, he can just create more and more and more. That is until he runs out of energy himself. So yeah, he basically has a sort of type of creation quirk. It's not Momo Yaoyorozu level, but it is something that a type of quirk that creates something to be used. And well, yeah. With All Might now as their parental guardian, Sonic is a lot more loyal and obedient. He's just a lot more of I guess you could say a teacher's pet or a parent pet, a little guardian pet. While Izuku is a lot more rebellious and, well, adventure hearted. Heart filled with adventure and a mind truly rebellious. That's a dangerous combination. And seeing as the next day is the first day of UA, that taste of adventure Izuku's been wanting, Izuku will be able to get. To the point where Izuku actually has to stop himself because his eyes start to light up while he's going there towards the building. In anticipation of everything. And so, he just sees the big ass door. Sees the big ass door, and he's like, I just. And psychically open it. And nobody really seemed to care. However, Izuku does indeed see Ida and Bakugo arguing about something. And, well, Izuku's just like, great, the both of them. I hate it when mom and dad argue. I hate it when mom and dad fight. Izuku just likes to, poke fun sometimes, just to relieve the stress of the home life that they have, just to relieve the stress of the home life. Just likes to poke fun every now and again to relieve that stress. Guys, by the way, if you were wondering why I skipped the entire thing with the last day of middle school and the sludge villains 2 attacks, I guess I just was so excited, like I've been telling you guys, I'm really excited that I completely neglected to mention any of that. Anyways, what I wanted to mention is the following. Izuku does indeed find a seat somewhere in the back. And just decides to be like, oh, just like really fed up with the world. And just relax themselves, slump back in the seat. And so, yeah, everything just slouched back in the seat. Anita would be like, and you! And Izuku would just be like, oh my god, he still managed to spot me. I really should have called him Four Eyes. Just a little tiny clap. And then all of a sudden, Ida just gets thrown into a seat. After just a little tiny clap. Bakugo's like, wow, looky who we have here. Mr. Special all the time. And Izuku's like, Bakugo, do I have to remind you again? I never bothered you, and you still managed to bother me. Well, at least you would have bothered me if I had any reason to feel bothered. Of course, you still damn well tried to get under my skin, but I have my own problems to deal with, so I can't deal with any of your horse shit. So, yeah. Just buzz off somewhere. I have my own bags to deal with. Bakugo would just be like, what do you just say? And Izuku would be like, I said, buzz off. Flick, and just like, send Bakugo into his seat. But he'd be upside down. And, Aizawa would just be like, it took you, brats. It would just be like, Aizawa would be like, it took you, brats, 8 seconds to shut up. Now, put these uniforms on, take the uniforms, put them on in the changing room, and meet me out here at the train field in 10 minutes. And if any of you take too long, you're expelled. Izuku could kind of tell if that was a lie. Like, just random ass expulsion? Just because they took a little bit too long? Like, that just seems stupid. So, Izuku in the men's changing room with all the other men. Kirishima will be like, Man, you got a weird build for someone like you. And Izuku's like, since when did my build concern you? And, well, why do they even make up terms like that? Build? What do I look like to you? And Kirishima would be like, what I mean is, well, it is unless your quirk is all you are. Is that really the sad truth? That all you are is your quirk? And nothing else? And Izuku would just be like, what the hell did you just say to me? And just like the eyes would begin to glow and like just start to pull Kirishima up in the air and just start to squish down, and Kirishima would be suffocating. I am far more than just my quirk. I'll prove it to you whenever we get out to the training field. Washed up has been. And Kirishima will be like, Eiichiro Kirishima, nice to meet you too. It's like just crapped on him. And Izuku will be like, not interested. Oh, and if you were really that interested yourself, Izuku Midoriya. Remember it. Or else your brain's gonna be mush. You know, everybody is just like shocked by that. Like they just saw some shit. Like holy shit. And Bakugo was like, I knew Izuku was not exactly going to be in the best mood, but Jesus. Threatening to turn kids' brains into mush? And so, yeah, after exiting the changing room, Izuku would calm down his quirks where the eye thing wasn't visible. Oh, and he did notice he was slightly levitating, so he canceled his levitation out, too. And so, seeing as he got the highest score, he was the first one to have to go through the ball throw. And he would just be like, specifically a ball throw? Oh, this is going to just be great. Huh, huh, huh. And boom! Just the slightest of psychic taps on the ball whenever it's thrown up in the air. Like, throws up in the air and gives this slight psychic tap. And just. And Aizawa would just be like, yep, that is not only out of orbit, but out of, I think, out of the known galaxy. Yeah, definitely need to fix my phone before I can do any other, testing. And Izuku would just be like, uh, yeah, fix your phone, yeah. And, well, the rest will just be certain, you know, ups and downs where you think ups and downs would be, considering physical strength and non-physical strength areas. Well, in some of the non-physical strength areas, like the stuff where you kind of can't just use your body, it might amplify with some of that psychic ability. Just slightly enough to where it could be accepted. That is, except for the grip strength, which kind of broke in half. Because, well, kept on getting reminded about Ejiro Kirishima and his comment about just being all quirk and nothing else. That really nettled Izuku. So he decided that he was going to relieve some more stress once the day was finally over. And so, after everything was settled, Izuku's little theory was proven correct. Aizawa freely admitted that he had no intentions of expelling any of them. However, the one with the highest score, even whenever not fully using their psychic powers to their fullest extent and assisting their body, in certain tests where that was the case, still they made it to the top. First place went to Izuku. Izuku just merely thinking, of course I would get first place. I smash everything. Because I'm just that damn good. And so, where to relieve stress? Yes, where indeed to relieve stress. And that is indeed whenever Izuku, just trying to get back home, or at least find somewhere to, quote-unquote, relieve stress, one or the other, basically would be approached by three people. They look to be third years. Tamaki, Nejire, and Muriel. Basically, all of them stating that All Might have them, have you on watch. Basically watch you while you're out being your rebellious self. To make sure that you don't blow off and do something crazy. And Izuku will just be like, oh, great. And you look like the biggest kiss ass out of them all. Yeah, you. Literally Bunny Ears 2.0. And Mary will just be like, Bunny, oh, that insult. Why do you do that? Do you get some sort of sick kick off of saying or talking to people like that? Does that please you in some way? Because if it does, then you're no hero. And Izuku would just be like, "You seriously don't get me, do you? How could you ever get me? You're just a... You're just a bunny ears kick. You're just a bunny ears kiss ass. I don't care whatever he says. He isn't actually our father, me and Sonic. Sonic's willing to accept him. However, well, it's nothing you need to worry your pretty little head over." Basically, Tatsumaki would be like trying to, regulate things in between Mirio and Izuku before things came to blows. However, Izuku would prove how pretty much worthless that was. Because it just fling, and all of a sudden, Mirio is like 30 feet away from them, like in a ditch. Just like flinging him, like just tossing him 30 feet away and into a ditch. Leave the trash where it belongs. Oh, and Tamaki, if you ever try to stop me like that again, trust me, there are far worse fates than death. Tamaki would be like, "Jeez, buddy, you're tense." And Izuku would be like, "That's why I'm out here, to relieve stress." And Nejire would just be like, "To relieve stress? Well, you sure have a funny way of doing it." And basically it'd just be like, Nejire would basically be like, "That's a pretty weird way of relieving stress. You know, tossing Mirio 30 feet all the way into a ditch. And then threatening my friend Tamaki here with a fate worse than death. I mean, come on. Where'd you grow up, mister?" And then Izuku would freely share a little information about how both their actual birth parents are dead, and that happened around the time that her little brother was actually born. And at that time, she was pretty much 5. Which is why her being 15 makes him 10. Which is why him being 15 makes his little brother 10. Because he was 5 whenever his little brother, Sonic, was born. And basically, Nejire would be like, "Wait, your brother's with that Sonic? He's such a cute little twerp. And everyone's always so excited about what he's going to do with his quirk next. I mean, it's always the same result, but the different materials he can use to produce the same result, it's kind of like some sort of Harry Houdini kind of stuff." And Izuku would be like, "Well, you could indeed say that on my brother's quirk." Huh. It's called Shuriken. And Edra is like, well, pretty much everyone already knows that, but at least thanks for trying to get in on the know. The up and up about your family and everything. I heard your quirk is called Esper because you don't really have any sort of specific type of psychic, you know, way in which you do. Could be psychokinesis, could be telekinesis, could be anything. I hear you're really dangerous whenever you get angry. Yeah, some of the stuff that your brother will blab on to me and the third years about. Yeah, it's crazy. If you're actually that strong, you sound like somebody who's pretty interesting to meet. And actually, this has been a pretty interesting meeting. At least for me. I don't know about Miria or Tamaki, but at least I found you interesting. And Izuku is just like, oh, really? Now, my brother's that mouthy about our powers. I'd consider it safe if it was just him mouthing off about his powers, but him talking about my powers to other people? That little shit. Gonna have to punish him whenever we get home. Or whenever I get home, whatever. Don't like it whenever other people talk about my power. Or at least whenever other people are spreading information to others about my power. I had something bad happen to me once, and I haven't forgotten the words of the person who saved me ever since. Do not be so kidnappable next time. Get trained to be that. Because next time, there might not be a hero there to save me. And Nedre would be like, so wait, you were kidnapped? Who was the hero that saved you? And Izuku would simply just say, our hero, Midnight. But Aizawa came around soon afterwards. I really don't know what if I really don't think I know what help he was trying to be, other than cutting the ropes that were binding me to the wooden chair. Yeah, even after getting out of that burning building, I still wanted free. Hope nobody decent people were hurt in that fire. No decent people. And Nedre would just simply just be taking this all in and be like, so, you have powerful psychic powers. Uh, you sound really cool, is what I'm trying to say. Like someone it would be nice to hang out with. If Mirio wasn't already trying to steal my heart. And Tamaki really wasn't doing anything to try to stop him. Even though he obviously should know that doesn't exactly make me too comfortable. And Izuku would then be like, oh, so wait, this guy doesn't know personal space either? Mario, right? Well then, tell me, have you ever tried to get in your personal space without you feeling up for it again? I'll come over there. But you still continue to be strong yourself. I mean, you're a third you're a third year. You're a third year for Pete's sake. You should know how to defend yourself. However, I'm still not gonna stick up for someone like that. Not someone like that doing something like that to you. I mean, you're just, a lady, and no lady should have to be done that way. Not unless that lady's like some sort of scumbag villain. But even then, I know my boundaries. You should never go too far with a lady. I mean, I know that may sound belittling, but, you know, good virtues are always good things to have in your mind. Good morals and everything. And Nedre would just be kind of blushing. And she'd be like, you would do that for me? If it ever started getting too clingy? I mean, he ever started to get too clingy? And Mario would be like, what do you mean too clingy? And Izuku would just be like, back off. Don't you get it? She obviously isn't interested in you. Third year to third year or not. The big three are going to be split up. If I have to see to it that that's the only way to protect her. You're obviously no actual concept of personal space. And Mario would just be like, if it's that way, then I guess I'll just have to crush you. Pity. I was actually hoping that I could let you live. Then again, chucking you 30 feet all the way into a ditch. I was just hoping that a third year who had a similar gig to All Might could withstand that. So I wouldn't have to, become a murderer. And, Mirio would just be like, enough with you. And he would just use his permeation and try to get behind. And then Nedre would just, smack, beat Mirio over the head whenever he tried to get on Izuku. And Izuku would be like, I could have taken him, you do know that. Third year or not, he's still pretty stupid in the way he uses his quirk. And if he's still so fresh with it, that he is literally only that long of use, yeah, he is a lot of a ball of suck. You're that third year? And then he would just pick him up and is like, you're mine. And just bam, slap into a tree. And then it'd be like, Nejire, Tatsumaki, leave Maria to me. and then just pull him out of the tree, and then right up with a rock. And Izuku would be like, now, how many ways could I end this? Well, I could always just disappear and like smack. And, just be like supersonic racing and a punch all the way into Miria, and then just a kick and get lost. Like as soon as it pulled off that kick, Izuku would just yell and get lost and stay that way. And Nejire would just be blushing at this point. And Tatsumaki would be looking at Nejire and just be like, just confess your feelings for him already. And Nejire is like, oh, what's the use? Izuku? Thanks and all, and, mind if, we talk alone? And Izuku's like, sure, fine, whatever. We can just, like, boop, just teleport. At least now we're a little bit closer to my house. Close enough so that Dad won't have a heart attack. Ugh, I seriously don't get him. Anyways, what was it exactly you wanted to? And Nedra would just be like, mwah. And Izuku would be like, whoa, that was beyond the cheeks. That was the lips. Damn. Like, power. Like, bruh. Izuku would just be like, bruh. Izuku would be like, whoa, that was, wow. Well, it's only a 3-year difference. If that's what I think you're doing that for. And Nedre would be like, oh, you know that's what I'm doing that for. And Izuku would be like, okay, fine, I'll confess. And Nedre would be like, wait, what? I kinda like you back. That's why I hit him extra hard that last time. And, felt so strongly about everything. Of course, I still would have felt the same in a way if it was. And, Izuku would be like, what the whole lovey-dovey shit, just takes over you, just takes you over, and does things to you. Say, Edrea, wanna do something? And Edrea would be like, well, I was thinking we could go for a walk with the time we have left before you actually have to go back, I mean, you can teleport, so we do have a lot of extra time, actually. I guess, considering what time you're exactly thinking about. And Izuku's like, well, I see where you're going. Fine, I can indeed teleport, so it shouldn't be a problem. I'll just contact him, tell him that I'm in the middle of something. And that everything should be able to wait. And even to make up for it, I'll actually, organize my stuff this time. So that my little brother doesn't have to do it. Even though, Lord knows he would if, he did notice that my stuff was unorganized. All in an extra A for whatever effort to appease Monsieur Dynamite, 20 years and all. So, this is a walk, right? And Andrea would just be like, yeah, a walk. And they would just end up walking by this restaurant. It's doesn't exactly look like something expensive, but not like something really cheap either. And Andrew would be like, seeing as it's your first time, I'll be the one who pays for the food. And Izuku would be like, wait, whoa. I mean, you're going into this really fast if you're going to turn into this. And, Nedre would be like, you did say that you had the time that you needed. So, I thought we could make this a little bit extra interesting. And Izuku would be like, I see what you're doing here. I see the cards you're playing. Well, at least allow me to help you with the bill. I mean, I'd feel terrible if I just left you with, my eating habits. But you gotta keep that up whenever you have a psychic, ability quirk that just runs wild all throughout you. Sometimes even out of your control because of certain emotional things. And so they would need to have a meal. And, well, Nedre would indeed be thankful that Izuku paid, or at least helped paid, because, yeah, Izuku's got a stomach on him ever since, his quirk and the way it works. Yeah, it burns through appetite like crazy. Well, whenever it's used with, like, excessive force through whatever means, whatever means. And basically, things will just be like, in between Nejire and Izuku, they'd be like, yeah, I'm glad we had this. And the other one would be like, I'm glad we had this too. And then we'll be like, one last kiss. Mwah. But instead of Nedre giving it to Izuku, Izuku will give it to her. Swap and spit. Izuku, yeah, would have just dropped the bomb. And just be like, oops, sorry. And be like, pew! It's like teleportation. And Andre would be like, uh, uh, but, So yeah, you can already tell this is a Nejire Izuku ship. Izure. You know, the rest of everything, Izuku did indeed follow up on what, he promised to do. Like, keep up with his things. Switch perspective here. And, well, the next thing would be heroes versus villains. And so, Izuku will basically be like hearing that the team that they're going to fight, and that their match is first, they're going to be fighting Bakugo and Ida. And then Izuku's just like, who I'm paired up with. And we'll just be like, hi, I'm the girl you saved. And Izuku's like, oh, Chaco, you're my partner. Well, I think we're about to be let in. And they're in, and Izuku's like, okay, so here's the plan. I've been doing a lot of planning ever since I heard about the way things are supposed to be going down. You go up there to deal with Ida. Try to avoid Bakugo as he's coming down here to try to get me. And I'll deal with Bakugo. And which I could be like, sound enough plan, I guess. What Izuku predicted would happen does indeed happen. Apparently, you can add that to a list of psychic powers. Being able to predict future events, also known as foresight. And a Bakugo would just be like charging up explosions and detonating them off towards Izuku, and Izuku would just be like, you're so simple. And we'll just generate a barrier, and this will just be sending all of the explosions back at Bakugo. Bakugo would jump over this, and then it would be like, his gauntlets would be ready, and be like, boom, boom. Try to shatter the barrier. But the moment he would do this, the shattered pieces, Izuku would just, and the shattered pieces would go into Bakugo. And then, one hand motion, and the shattered pieces that were going into Bakugo would explode themselves. Bakugo would land on his noggin, knocking him out. And so, not actually having to use the stairs, because teleportation. Pew! And Ida would actually just now see Izuku, because he would have teleported into the middle of the room. And so Ida, basically, Izuku would be like, put up a small shield. So Ida, it would run his face into the shield, knocking him out. Ochako wouldn't have even had to do anything, except for, bing! Like, the heroes have won. You know, the bomb. And now we have the whole USJ thing. Basically, whenever they get onto the bus, Izuku's just picked a window seat and it's just like this, looking out of the window. Just out of nature. And just really thinking, I wonder what that Nedgerade girl's doing right about now. And well, someone would indeed sit next to Izuku. Person sitting next to Izuku would be I think his name is Anama or something? Or Ayama? I think his name is Ayama. Basically, Ayama would come up and, go to sit next to Izuku, and the entire trip, Izuku would have not have noticed Ayama. And Oyama would have been, offended, the entire trip you did not notice I was there. And he's gonna be like, yeah, what about it? Tough luck. What were you trying to, get something out of this? Do you really swing that way, Oyama? And everybody on the bus would be like, yeah, Oyama, do you swing that way? And Oyama would be like, I'm not gay. But nobody in Class 1A is gonna let him live it down. Just that whole comment about, were you hoping to get something out of this? And it would just be like making Ayama look like he was gay. Because Izuku's a guy. And so whenever they all got inside, and, Aizawa said things, and 13 did her spiel, but then all of a sudden, freaking portals would open, and out would come Shigaraki, Kirogiri, the Nomu, and a bunch of fodder villains. And Izuku would just be like, oh, this is gonna be great, isn't it? And then all the students are, sent in every which direction. All the different, sites. And Izuku would indeed be with Fafi and Mineta. Mineta just be panicking, and Frothy would be trying to think of a plan. And Izuku would just be like, okay, so now I'm gonna have to go in with the big guns. And so a bunch of villains start approaching while the Nomu is going after Aizawa. Because Aizawa so far has been doing pretty good, but the Nomu's starting to tag on him. That bruh tag. And so, yeah. Aizawa's getting, bruh tagged. And that is not good. The Nomu's just doing it to them all over. So, yeah, this is just not good for them. Well, not really good for Aizawa. And all of a sudden, the villain's trying to take advantage of this, weaken Aizawa, and all of a sudden, they would feel themselves begin to fly up in the air, and then get all flicked into different directions. And all of them, as soon as they would hit the walls, they would all get knocked out. Yeah, this Izuku has glowing eyes, and is like glowing silhouettes. And so, like, just glowing all over, glistening, with this power radiating off of him, as he's shown to be freaking levitating in midair, and he's just gonna be like, not cool. And the Omu is just gonna be like trying to thrash, and like, let me smash, but yeah, that ain't happening. Because another thing that Izuku and Nejire would have been doing, instead of just the walk and eating, they would have done some collective smashing. And Izuku wouldn't want that tarnished by this thing just walloping on him. Just a more aggressive version of Smash. And, well, so Izuku basically just seeing the big open canister for the head and be like, oh, that looks like a very obvious weak point. Yeah, I'm gonna exploit that, thank you very much. And just take like a pyramid-sized piece of rock and just levitate it over, and just levitate it above Nomu's head, and then just stop the power, just like drop it. And seeing as it's so damn big, it would have crushed the Nomu. So even if it didn't exactly hit the weak point, Nomu's crushed like a pancake. So yeah, pancake onto there. And then all of a sudden, Izuku intensifies the gravity, and all of the pyramid gets crushed into a bunch of pebbles. And so all the force on top of that, yeah, Nomu was no longer enemy a part of the equation of the villain attack. And all these villains are going after everybody. Shigaraki is, trying to sneakily make his way over there to Aizawa. And Izuku is like, so, Misty Boy, you want to play tough guy? And then she would just teleport a shard of rock into, like, the pain beacon. And Kiryu would be like, ugh. And, Izuku would just be like, who's the wimp now, jackass? And Kiryu would just be slumped. They're just weakened and, like slumped there, like just like nothing left. And so everybody would have eventually, gotten back, and, the entire bundle And Shigaraki would be like, damn it, this kid's annoying. And Izuku's like, hey, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. And then it would just be like, boom. Just like two hands. Be like, two hands slam on the ground. And it's just like, all of a sudden, the earth underneath Shigaraki would start to rise. And, pieces would start to break apart. And Shigaraki would start to fall. And Kirigiri would just like, shut up. And he would just like teleport over there and teleport Shigaraki out. And him out. And the rest of the villains would be like, yeah, we surrender, you can arrest us for now, we don't want any of that. And Izuku would be like, no, you're still gonna get some of this. Some of these hands. And just create like a psychokinesis sword, and like shing, and just like turn all the different segments into like a bunch of like falling rock, and the rock would just like start to crush like on top of them. They just get crushed by the rock and completely immobilized. Alrighty. So yeah, Izuku would have just one-man armied this entire thing. And yeah. If you, yeah, that's an hour, so. Yeah, that's the end of the sports festival. Not sports festival, the US, damn it, Bobby. And the USJ, damn it, Bobby. USJ attack. And because of Izuku being there, how just indestructible of a wall, a freaking tank, Izuku is with the ridiculous psychic potential in his quirk, the ridiculous like psychic ability potential. So yeah, that's his thing. And so yeah. Zero analysis because the direction I'm over because OUT out of here, you boys. Like, favorite, subscribe, and leave some in the description. Non-toxic. Bye.